I'm going to follow along on this blog post that I made, and we're going to get an AI agent running. There's a lot of good reasons to have an AI agent. We'll go over those later. This is just the facts on how to get it done. So this blog post is available, and we'll do this walkthrough right here. But you got to remember, an AI agent is two things. It's an AI model that you can choose and a harness. The harness gives it tools, and the harness keeps it in line. So to do this, you're going to need a credit card. It's going to cost you, and you can do this on a month-to-month basis, and you can cancel after 1 month. So you can, yes, it'll cost you $32. So $20 for the monthly AI plan, and $12 for the first month of your virtual private server. Later on, you'll want to have Telegram installed on your phone. Going to have a computer to access this, and an idea for a website. So you go through this tutorial. At the end of it, you'll have your AI agent building you a website, and you won't have to know how to do code. You will have to have a terminal, and on a Mac that I'm using, it's really easy to do a terminal. And you want to have a notepad or something. In the Mac, it's text edit, a place where you can put some passwords that you're going to generate. So that's what this setup, the workspace before you start is. So go to your password generating system, whatever you use for that, and get yourself a Linode root password and then a user password. And then we're going to get these API keys and bot tokens later on in the demo. So you're going to want to have your desktop set up kind of like mine is here. And like I said, pre-fill your text file with passwords and other things like that. And we're going to step through and get this done. So we're going to run a small computer in the cloud. My preferred provider is Linode. You can use whatever preferred provider that you want. I'm not getting any money on this. I'm just showing you how to do stuff. Maybe later on I'll put an affiliate link in here or something. I don't know. Anyway, get to Linode, get yourself a login, and go ahead and put a credit card in probably, and then go to create and create a Linode. And that'll get you to this page here. Now, I'm near Atlanta, so I'm going to pick Atlanta, Georgia. We're going to leave the Linux distribution the way it is. We're going to choose shared CPU, and we're going to pick a 2 gig Linode. Can you do a 1 gig Nanode? Yeah, sure. I just prefer a little bit more room and internet. Okay, so let's give it a label. We're going to call it, we're going to call it Hermes Agent 1. I always like to number my things. Okay, we're not going to put any SSH keys in there, but we are going to go copy our root password. So whatever your password is, you're going to want to copy that now. And I'm going to go to my off-screen notepad and copy that and paste that into here. So a nice strong password. We're going to leave encryption on, public internet. We're going to come back around and set up all the security on this later on. I want to do the minimum amount of thing to get you functional. So we got this set up. We're going to create a Linode. Oh, wow. You don't have an option anymore. All right, so we're going to create a firewall, and we're going to create a firewall from a template. And we're going to do Hermes Agent 1. We're going to choose a template as a public firewall. We're going to create it. And we'll modify this to do a website a little bit later on. All right, so we've got our firewall assigned, encrypted. Okay, so now we're going to create a Linode. And it's going to go through and provision what you told it you want it to do. So it's provisioning now. And then we're going to copy our public IP address. And we're going to put that in here, public IP equals, we're not going to worry about IPv6 for right now. but we are going to copy. So I'll teach you a trick here. So your first command to see if your system is up and running is a ping. We're going to paste the public IP address of your server. And it's not up and running. That's okay. Even though it said that it's provisioning here, it's always good to check with a ping. Now that we have a ping back from it, we can connect to it. So let's scroll down here. So we've just done the do this, and then we're going to log into the server and update it. So this is in the example, obviously. It's not the, we're going to copy here, and we're going to paste that, and we're going to log in. And the answer to this is yes. And then we're going to go to our text file where we copied our root user password and paste it into here. And that should give us access. Great. So now let's see what the next step is. Now, the first thing that you do when you provision a new server is you do a server update. So we're going to copy this and paste it. Now it's going to run for a little bit in the background. So while that's going, we're going to go sign up for the AI agent service. So go look for MiniMax. There's a lot of different back-end agents you can use. I just happen to like MiniMax. It's good. You can get a price that's very straightforward. So we're going to go to the token plan. And a token plan means you pay a certain amount per month and you get all the usage that you want without paying any more. So that's my kind of plan. So you can see that this plus plan right here, you know, you can run a bunch of agents concurrently. You can run the older M2.7 model, or you can run the newer M3 model. So anyway, go ahead and sign up for that. And when you sign up for it, go get your API key. Your API key is going to look something like this. You're going to copy it, and then you're going to paste it right here in your notepad file, your text file. And then you're going to have your MiniMax API key. So I've already got mine from previously doing this. You're not going to see my API key, but you're going to have your own. And oh, look, it popped up a window. Yeah, most of these things you just hit enter and do OK. And yes, there are, for the people who set up these servers all the time, there are a lot of security things that we can do, but we're not doing them right now. We're going to get you the results of setting up an agent and then having it build a website. And then in our next session, we'll come back and add security to it. All right, so now we're going to add a user. So we're going to add a user called agent. So we're just going to copy this and paste it on our command line. And we have to give it a password. So let's go to our user level password, which we generated previously. Copy that and paste it. And then paste it again. And then we're just going to hit enter for this stuff. And boom, we've got a user. Now, we do need to add the user to the sudo group. That group is just the ones that are able to get increased privileges. So now we're going to log out as root. And here's a little trick. You can do up arrow and replace root with the word agent. So you with me on that? Okay, now we got to enter our agent password. And so we'll just copy that and paste it. Oops, maybe I copied and pasted the wrong thing here. Oh yeah, I did. Okay, now we're in as agent on localhost. That's great. Now we're going to install the Hermes agent. See how we're moving right along? Okay, let's see. It says install these tools. All right, we'll use sudo as an example to install these tools. So we're going to copy that and paste it. And you'll see, oh, it's asking for your user password to be able to do admin level stuff. Bam, there it goes. Okay. Wow, we didn't need to do any of those. And now we're going to go to Hermes agent and we're going to copy what it says here. And I think what it says here on the Hermes agent page is different. So I'm going to have to fix that. So now we can see that Hermes is being installed and it's installing some other things as well. So we're going to let that run. I'm going to hit Control C. So it's asking us a bunch of different questions here and we're going to keep it running local. Connect a messaging. We're going to skip setting up messaging because we'll set up Telegram in a little bit. And now it says the installation is complete, which is great. Now we're going to configure an API key with settings. So we're going to do Hermes setup. Oh, I didn't read this thing. Reload your shell to use the Hermes command. That was dumb. Okay, now we do the Hermes setup. So let's do, I'm going to expand this a little because I can't see all the options here. We're going to do the full setup. And it looks like it gives us the option to do an inference provider. There's a lot of them. Now, News Portal might be a good one. Open Router might be a good one too. But we're just going to do MiniMax for this one. Regular MiniMax. And it's asking for an API key. So we're going to enter our API key for MiniMax. And we're going to hit enter for the base URL. And we're going to tell it we want to do MiniMax M3. It's the best one. So we're going to keep the local backend. Are we going to configure any other platforms? Wow, this is kind of confusing. No. So we're going to hit escape on here. We're just doing the basics today. As you can see by this setup, there's a lot of other options. So do we want all these tools? Yeah, let's do all these tools. And then, okay, we'll choose the local browser, sure. And then choose a provider. You know, we're gonna have to do the image stuff later. And, oh, Microsoft Edge text-to-speech, free. Sure, let's keep doing that. And then a search provider. We can do search provider later. Actually, I kind of like Brave Search because it's like $5 a month, but we'll skip search and do that later because we just want the basic setup. Okay, so that got us to everything. So let's see if Hermes is actually working. So we're going to type Hermes. And that should get it running. And here we are. Let's ask it if it's ready to work. Ready to work? Ready when you are. What are we building? Okay, well, hey, let's build something. So I'm going to type Control-C. And that gets us out of here. Didn't even read my own instructions. So write a doers file. Okay, so we're going to copy this and this and this. Let's see what happens if we just copy and paste it. wow, it just worked. Maybe? It's okay. Alrighty, well there you go. That was easier than I expected. Okay, let's go back to Hermes again. Fire it up. This is called the text user interface if you read anything about it. And there's a ton of different things, but we can just kind of ignore that. And let's ask it ready to build a website. So the cool thing about an agent is you just have conversations with it. Okay, what is for? Great. So it asks a bunch of things, and you know, agents like to ask you a bunch of questions because sometimes they like to have you do the work. But I'm just going to copy this, build me a one-page website for asteroid belters. Okay. Great. So let's see what happens. A couple of quick calls I shouldn't make for you. Wow. Let's do fictional but plausible sounding designations of asteroids. Okay. And how should the site be delivered? Wow, a single self-contained HTML, split it into HTML and CSS. You know, I don't really know. I'm just going to go with the first answer here. I'm not really so good at building websites. Okay. So it's working it, and that's good. And let's see what it decides to do. So sometimes it takes a little while for it to do stuff. Now, one of the things that I find really handy is steer. So steer tells it, while it's working, more information that you might have forgotten. So steer, hey, tell me what you are doing as you go. All right, so now it's doing a bunch of website stuff. So pick the domain asteroidbelter.com. That's cool. Ready to build. Okay. All right, so now it built an HTML file, but we don't want that. I want the website actually running so I can access it for real. So you see how we're just like using real language with the AI agent? Why are you doing it on port 8000? What would a professional web designer do? Honestly, lazy. See, told you they're lazy. Okay. Run a web server right here. See, now that we told it to run our web server right here, we're going to kill the dev server and put a real one in its place. Okay. We're going to tell it to stop. Now remember, we gave it passwordless sudo. You have passwordless sudo. Try it. Okay, so it's installing a web server called Nginx, and that's the exact right thing to do. That's pretty cool, huh? And so you can see as we go through our conversation, the conversation kind of goes in all over the place. Oh, I kind of skipped the tell me where you're going to save the website. Okay, so it's doing a dangerous command, and that's okay because it's just doing stuff on here. But the thing is, I look through here. Well, let's just see what happens. I'm going to say allow for this session. Where did you store the website file? 2 places, and the live one matters more than the source. Great. Now, it asked a question. It's like, hey, you want to do asteroidbelter.com? Because we should be able to access it at this website. Let's see if we actually did. Can. Oh, that's pretty awesome. Look, it made an Asteroid Belter's website. Oh my goodness. It's got an about page, targets that we're going to try to harvest, and then contact information. That's pretty darn crazy. Well, hey, coincidentally, okay, I will set up the DNS. Oh, we're kind of skipping ahead here. Okay. That's right. We want to make this website secure first. How can we make this website secure? See, it was asking about DNS, and I was going to go down that path because sometimes the agent is asking you to do stuff. Okay, so it's answering, okay, how do we make it secure? Well, yeah, sure, apply the security headers. That's a good idea. And then, yeah, if something went wrong in here, I would tell it to test it, and then I'd tell it how to troubleshoot. How do you troubleshoot it? How would a professional do it? Okay, so now we're going to go to step 7, get a real domain name and SSL. Okay, so it's working hard and it's telling you what it's doing, but you can just mostly ignore while it's doing that, and it runs into problems sometimes, and I don't know, just kind of let it go. Let it cook. But that was still pretty cool that it built a whole website just like that. So you can probably start to see what you might be able to use an agent for, because there's certain things it can do quickly. All right, all 6 security headers are on it, blah, blah, blah. Great, I don't even really remember what that means. State of play, source, security config. We didn't add a Cloudflare tunnel, a real cert. Okay, let's add a domain name on Namecheap. So it can talk you through this. Now I'm going to just tell you something here. I actually own this domain. That's why I'm using it as a demo here. I already own this domain name on Namecheap. Oops, I'm kind of getting ahead in the demo here. So in the demo, get a real domain name. So go to Namecheap, go to Cloudflare, go to wherever you want. I just happen to use Namecheap. Sign in and create an account. Then we click on domain list, manage it. This will also talk you through it. You see, it's starting to talk me through it here. But I'm just going to follow this information here. So we're going to go to advanced DNS. We're going to add a new record. And the type of record that we're going to add is an A record. And then we're going to go back and we're going to copy our, oh, that's right. Our instructions say put an @ here. And then put the IP address. And we're going to save the changes. So we now have asteroidbelter.com, advanced DNS, we have an A record. Now we can actually test this ourselves. So one way you could test it yourself is actually bring up another window. So you're running 2 windows. And I can say ping asteroidbelter.com. Can't resolve it. Oh, and add a second record for www. Oh, yeah, let's do that. So we're going to add another record, another A record. And then what we do, we got to wait for 30 minutes for the change to propagate worldwide. So we're going to wait. We're going to take a break from doing this video. Before I take a break, let's review what we've done so far. We rented a server. We got a MiniMax agent monthly subscription. We installed the Hermes agent harness, and now we're using it. Oh, actually, while we're waiting, let's go do Telegram. Telegram's super useful. I have it on my phone, and I have it on my computer also. And I access my agent all the time from my phone and just tell it to do stuff. And you can actually record voice, and it'll transcribe the voice and do what you say by voice. And it can send you voice messages back if you prefer that. Connect Telegram so you can text the agent from your phone. All right, so I'm going to pop open my desktop Telegram. I have a lot of things on here. But we're going to open up Telegram and search for BotFather. And then we're going to go to BotFather. And then we're going to do new bot. New bot. Let me slide this into your view window here. All right, a new bot. How are we going to call it? Please choose a name for your new bot. Let's see if that's available. Let's do Asteroid Belter 1. Let's do it without the underscore. Let's see if that works. Asteroid Belter. Good. Oh. I should have done that first. Asteroid Belter bot. Done. Congratulations on the new bot. I'm going to have to blur that out because I often like to do things in parallel. So we're going to SSH to agent at the IP address, and then I'm going to paste my password, and we're logged in. So now we got one SSH session that's on Hermes agent and another that's just doing stuff, right? So we're going to do Hermes setup Telegram. Hopefully that works. No. We're going to have to update our walkthrough. So Hermes setup. Beep. We're going to go to the full setup again, and we're just going to skip the things that we don't want to change. So we're on MiniMax already. Keep the current thing. Select platforms to configure. Telegram. Here we go. So let's configure Telegram. What are the choices here? Automatic. Scan a QR code. Oh, we did the BotFather thing. So I'm going to do choice number 2. And I'm going to copy and paste my Telegram bot token. Security. Restrict who can use your bot. Oh, yeah. That should be just me. So I got to go find my Telegram user ID. Allowed user IDs. Use your user ID as the home channel. Yes. Install the gateway as a systemd service. Well, yeah. User service. Absolutely. Now we're going to cancel out with an escape. And we're going to cancel with an escape here. It seems like we're in a bunch of cycles here. Okay. Not sure why that is. I'm going to type Control C. No. Boom. Okay. All right. So let me pull Telegram back up here, and I'm going to search for Asteroid Belter bot. Okay. Found Asteroid Belter bot. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to say, hello, and send it a message. Now, the cool thing about Telegram is it says it's typing up here. Hey, Hermes here. What can I help you with today? Okay, so we can see that we've set up a general Hermes type thing, and on your phone, you can communicate with Hermes. I just pinged the asteroidbelter.com and I got a response. That means that the domain name has propagated properly. And I was just making sure my agent was awake. So I went and typed, okay, ready. And it was awake and still remembered what we were working on. And you can see the words here. It's ready. And it decided that it's going to launch CertBot. CertBot is a free way to get a security certificate. Now it's going through and doing that. So apparently it asked me a question, and I didn't answer the question. Oh, whoa, look at that. Okay, so now it says I should be able to just go to the secure website for asteroidbelter.com. So let's try that. Put that in and boom. How about that? Connection secure. What I wanted to do was show a demo that got you going. So this video gets you started. You rent a VPS, you installed an agent, you built a website. Absolutely. Now I'm always big on security, so I'm not going to do it on this video, but on the next video we'll make everything locked down and secure.